Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series, Custom 6v6 Joe and Pro action to kick off 2022. I can't quite believe it. We are no longer living in the present as far as I'm concerned. This is definitely the future, with the exception of the fact where is all the cool tech? I mean, really, we've got some cool things, but where's my flying car and my hoverboard? I feel thoroughly lied to by all the movie executives from the films of my childhood. Well, Back to the Future too, really, that's what I'm talking about. But that was the archetypal vision for the future when I was growing up. I'm very let down. What do we have instead? Vague promises from Elon Musk about an absurd Hyperloop that's never going to happen. Sorry if I've enraged a few Musk fans there, but you know what? If you're a fan of Elon Musk, you deserve to be a little bit disappointed, I think. Join the rest of us. Why not? Anyway, I hope you all had a good Christmas and New Year, guys. And if you didn't, here's something to cheer you up. Custom 6v6 action going down on Adaptive Collapse of the Alliance. I think that's a new one for us. If it's not, let me know in the comments. I'm ready. You guys are ready, and the players are sure as hell ready. So let's go on over to the game zone and see how they're going to get on. Ching, ka-chang. No instant loading. You know what happens? If I don't load it already, like the scene up in OBS, that always happens. It's infuriating when I forget to do that. Apologies to each of you, but you know, start 2022 as you mean to go on. This is Team 1 up here at the top right. This is Team 2 down here at the bottom left. Going first for Team 1, rearguard air position. It's Kavaka Sobaka. Going Cybrin, bless him, opening first land in Ferrari red onto the front row, which comprises of everybody else. I'm going to get into trouble for this one because the pronunciation is going to be beyond me. It's either Bastul Menidus or Bastu Lemonidus or Menidus. I'm probably going to call him Menidus Menidus throughout this just to make life a little bit easier. Here he is anyways, going Aeon in baby pink, opening first land. Next to him, another pink player, this time breast cancer awareness. It's Valone. There he is, going UEF, opening first land. Holding down the middle for Team 1, already on his way towards the center. It's Gleam. He's chosen Aeon and he's going first land in Pontiff White. And the two boys in the south, first of all, Say What You See, a fan of. Soul Ripper, clearly plays Cybrin on a regular basis. There he is, he's going Elephantine Grey and opening first land. And last but not least, over here, another Cybrin. All the fans of the 23s. It's Inf23, Chico23. We'll be calling him Chico today. And he's gone first land in Baby Blue. Racial composition of Team 1, 3 Cybrins, 2 Aeons and a UEF. Let's check out Team 2, rearguard air position to begin with. Hello there. Well, hello there. It's General Valdobi. And he is going UEF in Hallyborange Orange, opening first land. To the north, we have Caban. There he is, also going UEF in lime green, this time opening first land, second air. Another UEF next up after that. That's 3 in a row. Moxnat in Spetsnaz green. He's gone first land. Holding down the middle for Team 2, XO2. He's going Aeon, and he went first land. And then the two boys in the southeast. First of all, a Cybrin on his way to the center-ish. Slightly skew-if. It's AI Dominix in burgundy red. He went first land, and in mellow yellow, it's either Drand or more likely the way it's spelt, or rather written with the uppercase letter in the middle there, Dr. And. There he is, going Aeon, opening first land. We have 3 UEFs, 2 Aeons and a Cybrin for Team 2. No Seraphim love today. Who wants those filthy aliens anyway? They only came here with ill intent. Game quality at 90%. We're pretty happy with that balance as far as things stand. We do have 4 pros in residence today. Everybody else is a Joe. The 4 pros are Air Player, Savaka and Valone over here for Team 1. And for Team 2, Valdobi, Air Player and Moxnat. So they've really tried to sync up the highest rated players. They're all 1500. Everybody else is below that, but no one is below Gleam there on Team 1 at 1000. So it is a 1000 to 1500 bracket. The first few shots are fired, and it's between Valone and XO2 in the central plateau here on this scooping mission, where there is, of course, ample mass to be garnered. Taking a quick look before the rest of the action kicks off on the map, you can see that is the array of reclaim, the spread, if you like, very standard. On top of plateaus here and there and around all of the cliff edges. No surprises there. A liberal smattering of mechs is dotted around the map. We have a couple in each corner around these pretty redundant ponds, really. You're not going to be doing much with that on the water side of things, but it will slow you down unless you've got some floaty, naughty to help secure it. over there in the corner. Otherwise, it's all pretty standard. Things kicking off, though, on the ground in various different places. Soul Ripper and Dominic's getting into it around this mechs down here, just southeast of the central point. Exo 2 has been evicted from the middle plateau. No surprises there. He was 2v1 versus Valone and Gleam. What's happening up over here? Well, Caban and Moxnat look largely unchallenged for the time being. Where are the ACUs for the top left? Well, of course, Valone moved towards the center, but where is Manidas? There he is, right the way over here. This is where he's setting up shop, going for 4 land factories. That's going to be his main reinforce point. T1 bomber for Manidas shot down over the pond over here. We've got 2 engineers on the way up here. There are actually some civilian wrecks here that you can scoop for some more mass income. And those buildings, not too shabby, 61 mass apiece. Definitely worth getting an engineer over there to scoopage. But who is going to emerge victorious on the ground between those 2 engineers? Whoever gets the reclaim offer off first. It looks like it might be Manidas if he's paying attention. And there it is. Right, while Caban is working on a mech, he's not going to get to finish that, and that will be a little win on the ground for that little NG. Central Plateau still very much in Team 1's hands. Gleam setting up the first point defense on that central section. In comes a transport from Caban, dropping off 2 engineers onto that mini plateau and then going quite aggressively onto the other one over here. No mechs to be gained, but there are some rocks to scoopage, and of course you could throw down a couple of PDs to make life difficult for T1's forces traversing these canyons down here. Definitely as well if you manage to get a bit of tech up there and get some Tech 2 artillery. We're entering the upgrade status or stage of the opening game. 5 3/4 minutes gone. We've got 2 Tech 2 upgrades on the way for Valone and Exo 2. Gun upgrade on the way there for Moxnat. 55% done there. It's going to be a lot of localized firepower in the area. T2 upgrade on the way for Monidas up in the top left. And a gun upgrade by the looks of things on the way for Dr. And 20% done there. Early income, Team 2 ever so slightly ahead. You're looking at a couple of hundred mass at most. Otherwise, pretty neck and neck, as you would expect, at 6 minutes and 20 seconds. A group of Auroras amassing over here, mirrored by some strikers from Caban. Gun upgrade at 90% down in the bottom right hand corner. And we've got a speed and range upgrade on the way for Chico, but only 23%. We'll see how aggressive Dr. Ann feels after completion of that second gun upgrade. So he's now got a fully functional double gun upgrade. The sniper comm on board that Aeon Commander. Advancing forward. If he carries on pushing, he might be able to force a cancel on this. Maybe not. He's got a lot of mass, Chico, floating an enormous amount. It's power that's holding him back. And I don't think Dr. Ann's going to cover nearly enough ground to get up there and force a cancel. That would be quite the feat. A lot of action kicking off between 2 groups of spam. T1 spam over here between Exo 2 and Soul Ripper. Soul Ripper with the T2 engineering suite now on board that commander is busy throwing down defenses right in the confluence of these little canyon channels. Good place to reinforce. And that gun upgrade did complete just as Dr. Ann gets into range. Dr. Ann will have the advantage with that double gun upgrade. But Chico now with some fullback positions in place. Engineers working on some defenses just behind him there. Full-on base war developing now between AI Dominics and Soul Ripper. Going to be pretty evenly matched, racially speaking, both rocking Cybran. Cerberus turret on Cerberus turret, but it does look like Soul Ripper has a little bit of a head start on things. That is quite a well-developed base down there for AI Dominix, however. Moxnat on the move, meanwhile, in the northwest, threatening this little intel station over here. But meanwhile, Valone taking the opportunity to push, and these are the two 1500 rated players on the ground, remember. The other two are the air players for both teams. So if anybody is going to be exhibiting a high status play, it'll be these two. Nice little overcharge from Moxnat. Takes down that Tech 1 point defense that was spanned up by Valone. Moxnat well and truly surrounded though. Needs to be very, very careful here. He's got a few units moving in, and we've got some support inbound as well from Exo 2, which is sorely, sorely needed as Moxnat's health plummets down to below 5,000 hit points now. Below 4,000 just about. The overcharge comes in and pushes him over the top, down into the red, 3,200 HP. Now Valone, though, finds himself pretty isolated. Needs to be careful here. Is he going to be super aggressive and try and close this one out? Moxnat sub 2k HP. Valone continuing to press, but no, looks like he's thought better of it. Does a little pirouette and turns around. Had some support as well from Gleam over here. Caban to the north. He's taken a little bit of a battering, but he's got the T2 engineering suite on board, and now he looks like he's going to be pushing southwesterly, or southeasterly, sorry, from the northwest with some point defense pressure. One operational, two on the way. Valone into the red now, 3,600 HP there. T1 bombers inbound from Moxnat. Could Valone have bitten off more than he can chew? Still in a precarious position, but Team 2 low on inbound air-to-ground firepower. Doesn't look like they've got what it takes to clinch a kill at this point. Valone gets back up into the yellow, but taking more damage from the point defense, but the point defense goes down, and now Caban is on the run. He's taking a lot of damage from Gleam. He's got the double gun com pushing in from the east. Still some spam on the ground as well from Valone pursuing him. In comes a parashield. That's sorely needed, but it disappears immediately thanks to an overcharge from Gleam's com. Caban down to 1,600 hit points and well and truly on the run. Gets back to what I would say is relative safety. He's got a few land factories here, one of which is T2. It's just spat out another parashield, but very, very peaky on the health front down to 2,000 HP. Gets straight to work on another point defense to try and persuade Gleam to back off. Now that the 2 units of spam are down, oh, but actually it re-targets some of the spam over there to the northwest. Caban once again in range of Gleam's com, down to just a few 100 HP, but in comes Sabaka with a couple of Corsairs to clinch the kill. It's not kill steal after all, it's kill secured. All assets transfer over to Valdobi, so full share is on. Fortunately, that means some poor Tooth Fairy has gotten caught under somebody's pillow and succumbed to asphyxiation. That's going to be a nice surprise for that kid when he wakes up. Well, at least he has confirmation of the fairy's existence, so silver lining and all that. Now Dr. And in trouble down here in the bottom right as the Corsairs come in once again from Sabaka, down to a couple of hundred, and he's gone out. Almost a twofer. Sabaka on fire with his second eviction notice handed out. And this time it's Dr. And 2 men down for Team 2 in 13.5 minutes. Of course, though, full share is on. So it could be an awful lot worse. Dr. And complimenting his teammates on the air protection. Not so much. Valdobi retorting in kind. Should have had some AA. It can't be everywhere. There are a lot of wasps on the field, though. I think it's more than anything a testament to Sabaka, who's managed to pull that off. 2 kills inside 2 minutes. Solid play from Team 1. How is that reflecting now on the eco side of things? Generated eco, it's pretty much neck and neck. They haven't lost an awful lot of infrastructure, Team 2. So they've still got the same amount of income. The amount of fronts the players are fighting on, though, will have gone up rather dramatically for Team 2. But then more mass in the hands of people who know how to use it. That is the other side of the full share coin, as we know only too well. Still the base war between Dominix and Soul Ripper continues down here. No real progress made on either side. We've got some Vipers kicking around, which are lobbing mobile missiles in towards Dominix's position, but Dominix has all of the zappers in play. Shields coping relatively well with the inbound missile pressure. Moxnat has lost that little position over here, formerly belonging to Caban. Valone and Manidas funneling T1 spam down here. Probably going to come a cropper, though, over here in the far west. Some T2 pillars in play. That T1 spam not going to be able to break through that. And, of course, in the canyon next to it, Moxnat lying in wait with his comm. Not only has gun upgrade, also rocking a very, very fashionable nano repair upgrade. That's a chunky looking comm if ever I've seen one. Valone kicking it under shield coverage. And groups of spam massing down here. Dominix, having taken over for Dr. Ann down here, has this group of 5 and a 6th land factory down here, just spamming out Auroras, all of which rallying around that T2 point defense. Some good SAM site coverage down here from Valdobi. Are we going to see Moxnat pushing out now? He's got the T2 tech on the ground. Forward land factories over in the west belonging to Manidas. Not going to last very long. Pillars batter those down without any difficulty. Valone has some T2 production capabilities up front, but just a single land factory for the time being. Gleam with his comm, chilling in this tiny little pond over here. Now sending a few obsidians and some asylums over the middle, but they're going to run into superior tech. Exo 2 already with harbingers in play over here. They're not going to be too concerned about some obsidians, that's for certain. And could Dominix be yielding this position? It looks very much like he's heading back to base. Excuse me. Indeed he is. You can see the waypoint. Doesn't look like he's going to win that. He doesn't feel like he is. He's pushed forward with that Aeon spam that was amassing down here, but he's not committing, and as such, fringe of this formation getting taken out by some Cerberus turrets. Chico recognizes the opportunity and moves in with his forces. He's lost the T2 units with the exception of the Rhinos back here. Oh, and a couple of hoplites as well. Maybe he just held them back and was utilizing their superior range. Now Valone finds himself getting mobbed by Moxnat and by Exo 2. This forward position that looked pretty solid a moment ago has been well and truly overrun. T3 units and that upgraded comm too much for Valone, who looks like he's heading back to safer territory. It's not bugging all the way back yet, just moving into the next canyon. Down goes the T2 land factory though, and all that remains of this once proud installation is a couple of beaten up wall sections. Valone has picked his next spot by the looks of things for his next stand. A couple of T1 point defenses going down just a little bit further back. Wave of T1 bombers from Moxnat. Over the top, going after some of that spam from Manidas. Valone sensing an opportunity with Moxnat's withdrawal, moves forward and overcharges a Harbinger or two. Attack missile battery over here for Dominic's, firing just a little too close to this base here, which has some tactical missile defense in it, so some of the sting is being taken out. Oh, very close to Soul Ripper's comm, but instead going after the resourcing options. How deep will they go? Do manage to land some on the T3 core mechs of Chico a little bit further back. That looks like the end of the loaded missiles. Actually, we've got two more left in each of these silos, but the question is how long will they remain in place? A lot of inbound Viper fire. Dominic's clearly into something elsewhere. Remember, he's pretty much handling all of the southeast now single-handedly with the demise of Dr. And. Valone not setting up shop back here, waiting for Team 2 to evac the area and then just going straight back in and rebuilding. I like your balls. In a purely plutonic sense, of course. Another little fire base further up, belonging to Manidas. And there goes the next barrage of tactical missiles. Not targeting Chico and Soul Ripper once again, but by the looks of things going after Gleam. Oof, and falling foul of a Volcano tactical missile defense over here. Perfectly placed to protect those forward mexes. It's the best protection when it looks like it's not protecting. Forcing the misfire. Some broadsides on the field for Valdobi. Look at that. Do they always do that, or is that a new thing? Answers in the comments section below if broadswords, or indeed any plane, could land two at a time on these air staging facilities. And while you're down there, give us a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It's excellent for my ego. If you haven't garnered from the self-deprecating comments in previous videos, my ego could well and truly do with it. He did invest in one Gunther, one T2 artillery emplacement, but it's a curious decision. I guess it felt like maybe it was too much. Didn't want to hang on to it. Or maybe he just felt he's beefing these up to T3. He's going to have bricks soon. Maybe he can use those to overrun this forward position. This little fire base didn't really matter. AI Dominic, answers in the comment section if you're watching, sir. Let us know what your thinking was there. Look at this puppy! Sneaky little GC out from XO2. And if he's quick and if he's scouted, Valone on the run, and I don't see anything in the area that's going to be able to stop that, air or ground. We have the odd harbinger here from Manitas, but that's not enough. Usually in this position you'd expect a horde of gunships to come racing in from the air player, but Sabaka does not look like he's got anything like that in store. Valone in serious trouble from getting laser-faced in the back of the head as that GC starts trying to run him down. Valone making a play for his base as quickly as he can. Manitas working on a GC of his own under shield coverage up here, but Valone is not gonna make it. He's not gonna make it. He knows he's out. He turns around, puts some damage on the GC just to show good willing, and now Team 2 have pulled one back. But crucially in full share, Team 2, when they lost their ACUs, they kept their infrastructure. Now that GC is in a position to do a hell of a lot of damage to Team 1's infrastructure, and in full share, that is the key to winning games. Core mass under threat. Down goes one T3. Down goes a second. He could do with killing off these engineers so he doesn't get that GC surprise in the back of the head. 3 out of 4 of the core mass there for Manitas. Attack pings or move pings going down on that last mech. It gets taken out. In comes some Corsairs from Sabaka, who's finally managed to muster some defense. And in fact, there's been a big air battle, which it looks like General Valdobi has lost. And that is absolutely crucial at keeping Team 1 in this now, because that's another group of core mass down. I should have been taking stock of where they were in terms of eco. Team 1 were ahead. They are now down to 820 versus 930 on total mass generation for the teams. And he's not down yet. He's still got 45,000 hit points, and now he's moving in on Gleam's main base. Gleam nearly done on a GC of his own, but his core mass soon to be under threat. XO2 getting some real work done here. He's going to get all of the core mass in a third base. That is absolutely huge. What a wonderful experimental attack here. Got one built before anybody else, and crucially got it into the fight before they could properly respond. That is experimental timing at its best. Look at all of the redundant mass points everywhere. Team 1 down to 730 versus 1.1k in terms of generated eco. That is a huge, huge victory. Meanwhile, those Vipers, having demolished that base over here in that canyon, has just moved to the south. They've taken down one of the T3 land factories and the mass points down here. But a counter-offensive now on the way from AI Dominix, who's bringing in a Monkey Lord. We are well and truly entering the late game stages now, as all the experimentals come into play. How long that late game lasts, well, it's going to come down to the wonderful plays that are currently unfolding. Down go the shield gens. There's a lot of spam in here, giving that Monkey Lord a hard time. It urgently needs a ranking vet. Doesn't get it, but XO2's got another GC up his sleeve who's going to come in from the west and clean up everything that the Monkey Lord missed. And that is going to be the end of that little base right there. Gosh, how much of a different story would it have been if whatever went down between Sabaka and Valdobi, that air fight, if Valdobi had managed to win it convincingly somewhere. and prevent those Corsairs from taking the HP. How much more damage could that GC up here have done? I mean, that GC would have won out, the one that Glean was working on. But still, crucial work being done by Team 1's air player right there. That Colossus still looking pretty healthy, but walking around aimlessly at the moment. I don't really understand why he's not pushing in further. Is he worried about these bricks? Quite potentially, but I mean, he could hoover those up without too much difficulty, but he seems more concerned about keeping it healthy than sending it into the lion's den, so to speak. Lots of experimentals under construction now on all parts of the map. Crab on the way for Dominic's, who's done some scooping of redundant structures. I love this little feature now. Somebody mentioned it to me, not sure where, but thank you whoever it was. You can see in the bottom left hand corner now while it's building, you can see the build queue, new addition there for the FAF, main FAF mod. Very helpful for casters. Thank you to whoever designed that, and of course whoever let me know. Remember, if anything crucial is missed in these casts, you can go and check out the replays for yourself. Replay IDs are in the description below. And if you're busy watching this, do let us know in the comments section below what happened with that air battle between Valdobi and Sabaka during that first GC incursion from Exo 2. Exo 2's second GC taking a battering now from all of those Corsairs. Put a little bit of a smackdown on this forward base belonging to Gleam, but didn't stick around long enough to really get into anything. But check out Gleam's GC, presumably the GC that took down the first Colossus of Exo 2's. Now fighting back. What damage can he inflict? We've also got forward pressure on the ground over here. Some Titans leading the charge against some of Moxnat's forces, but in comes a contingent of Percivals from the south. That will be the end of that little bit of pressure, that's for sure. Road Swords brought in to take down the flak and then work on the GC. Valdobi putting everything he's got into broadsword production to try and bring it down. Switching up briefly for the T3, as it looks like Gleam not pushing any further to the south. That's probably because of this bad boy right here. AI Dominic's completing his megalith. Oh no, he is up for it. Now he's realized, no, don't like it. I'm going to turn around, show you my back instead, and you can shoot that on the way out. Oof, just outside range. Either that or he's having some intel issues. Sabaka getting into it with Valdobi once again. Going after the gunships initially, but the gunships are withdrawn. Now the Corsairs come in once more. Where are they going? They're going after Dominic's comm. Forget the experimental. Looked like they were going for the crab. But nope. Oh, and he's got some strats as well. That will ruin your day. That's a third player down for Team 2 and a third player killed to Sabaka's air. And now all of AI Dominic's stuff handed over to General Valdobi. Is it a blessing or a curse? That's the question. Snipes are all well and good as long as you can keep sniping them right till they're done and out of existence, but it can really be a thorn in your side, especially if you're sniping out the Joes and leaving the pros in to capitalize on their teammates' demise. Cheeky little spider bot in the bottom of the map, coming around that little cliff edge, locked onto by a couple of broadswords, but actually mostly stingers in this gunship squadron from Valdobi. Does it still count as a squadron if you have a mix of units? Answers in the comment section below if you know the answer to that one. Or can a squadron only be made up of one type of unit? One type of plane or gunship? We're all here to learn after all. A few ASFs on the field now from Chico, brought in to take down some gunships. They promptly bug out once Valdobi responds. And now Valdobi and Sabaka getting into it. Right over the top of a bunch of bouncers as well. That's not a good place for a battle from Team 1's perspective. Mass totals, generated mass has evened out slightly. Team 1 up to 1k and Team 2 on 1.1k. We can't really get much more precise than that, unfortunately. And in total mass accrued, Team 2 ahead by about 30,000, or 20,000 actually. It's almost bang on the nose, 20,000 mass. So it sounds a lot, but actually for 33 minutes in a 6v6, that's not a huge amount of mass. This is still a close game. Megalith and a couple of Monkey Lords from 3 different teammates on Team 1. Ooh! And a nuke out from Moxnat in the west. Where's that headed? Is that going basewards? It looks like it is. Have they got strategic missile defense? Soul Ripper's on the move, as is Chico. That suggests to me they probably don't, and why not at 34 minutes? Come on, guys. Really? Supcom 101. Woo. Toasty. And that's a massive, massive hole in their infrastructure. Team 1 down to 920 mass production. And Soul Ripper effectively without a base of operations. He's got this forward base over here, but the main base irradiated. But what have we got over here? Exo 2 picked off again by Sabaka. What? 4 men down for Team 2. Sabaka has claimed every single kill. Wow. He is a one and only, well and truly, an unbelievable brutalist. Possibly the worst description I've ever made of anything, but that's what you're getting. Leave me alone, I'm not sleeping well at the moment. And I went to a trampoline park at the weekend, taking my kid to a birthday party, and I've messed up my neck. Those things are dangerous, man. Totally blame the fact that I'm getting old on my physical injuries from a trampoline park. Nothing to do with my cognitive decline or anything like that. Spy planes buzzing overhead from Sabaka. Does that mean he's got something up his sleeve? I mean, it doesn't look like it at the moment. Bit of a one-trick pony. Send in air units. Killcom. Hey, it's been working. And a Tsar belonging to Moxnat, formerly belonging to Exo 2, I believe, going after a couple of GCs. Not going to get out of there, though, as Sabaka jumps on him with his air superiority fighters. Those Geminis, ruthless in execution. Blapping that donut out of the sky. Megalith from Soul Ripper just bugging out slightly since Valdobi has decided to disengage momentarily with these Monkey Lords in the southeast. Ouch. A few broadswords getting picked off there by Chico. He might lose a fighter or two in return, but he'll take that trade. But look at all of the GCs now pushing in from Gleam. They're going up a lot of fatties, though. We've got 3 fat boys. If they can stay out of range of those laser faces. In come the Percivals to lay the extra smackdown. The lead GC is going down. There's nothing that anybody can do about it. And the rear GCs have about 69,000 and about 34,000, but that health on the right-hand GC is plummeting deep into the red now. Swarms of T1 bombers over the top. Now they've switched target prioritization to the other GC. We do have a group of Titans up here at the top of the screen as well, getting some work done, but there's no real danger of any of these forces breaking into Moxnat's base. There's Moxnat's second nuke. Where's it going this time? We have another Tsar out from Valdobi. These two guys now running the whole show for Team 2 after the demise of Exo 2. Looks like it's going deep. It's going after Manidas' base. Is Manidas going to get out of the way? Yes, he is. How much of his base went up? He still has a couple of reactors up here, maybe 3. A few air factories. His core mass is gone. But mass production levels still pretty close. There's not a huge amount. Oh, no. There goes a Control K from Sabaka. I guess maybe he knows he's done, or he thinks he's done anyway. Transfers everything over to Soul Ripper. So that was the spike momentarily on that Control K. And you might think, why on earth? Well, I mean, look at the wider state of play. I think it's probably not unreasonable to call it for Team 2 at this point. Look at the sheer amount of firepower on the ground. And it's only going on in one direction. Bastul, full share 1. Well, that is the problem with full share, unfortunately. I don't understand why people don't just play Annihilation if you want to play full share. I know it can be a bit annoying. You might get a troll who's going to be, I'm going to hide my engineer. But have a gentleman's agreement that when it's over, it's over. And just allow people to carry on playing once their ACU's gone down. Yes, people are going to be cavalier with their ACUs. I get that. But is that such a bad price to pay? It's going to avoid all of this, dumping huge amounts of eco into the best players' pockets. I think it's probably a fairer representation. It will force people to go after infrastructure rather than just the commander. And when a commander goes down, it's still a loss, right? That's a powerful unit. Yeah, you have my decree, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to play full share, don't just play Annihilation instead. Fat Boys closing in on Gleam's central position. Few players on Team 1 remaining, wanting to make a go of it, but I think it's probably a done deal at this point. Manida's second law of full share, don't kill ACU. Well, it's fine. You can kill ACU, just don't stop killing ACUs. You gotta kill all of them and start with the high profile people if you're gonna go for anyone. A little bit tough getting to Valdobi right in the bottom left hand corner, I grant you that. And now we have Tech 3 artillery on the way for Moxnat, who's almost ready with his third nuke. Manidas, I think we could have won without full share. I think you certainly would have won without full share. And Manidas is plucked out of the sky, moving his comm on a transport up to that top left-hand corner. found by Valdobi's forces and shot down. Some strats in the center from Soul Ripper. Stray a little bit too far into enemy territory. Broadswords brought in, going right after the mobile flak. Too many of them to be concerned about such units, and then going straight after the Soul Ripper over here. Soul Ripper? Talking nonsense. Straight after Soul Ripper's crab, sorry. Down it goes.
Strategic launch detected.
And the collapse of Team 1 is real, and when things get tough, Cybran players go for a tele-snipe. Laser on the way for Chico in true cowardly Cybran fashion. A nuke out from Moxnat, though. Is that going to tear a hole in what's left? They are working on strategic missile defense over here. Soul Ripper right next to it. That nuke's going to take it out. It's going to take Soul Ripper with it. Goodbye. Soul Ripper down and out. Almost on the nose of 43 minutes. Control K from Gleam. And that leaves Chico all by his lonesome. But there are inbound Monkey Lords coming up from the south.
Strategic launch detected.
And another nuke inbound. This time from Valdobi in Dominic's old base. Where's that going, I wonder? Is it going after the comm? Has it been scouted? Donut, belonging to Chico, shot out of the sky. No, it's going for the base over here. But it doesn't matter, because his comm's been discovered. Boom, baby! And that, as they say, is that just inside 44 minutes. How thoroughly entertaining, if I do say so myself. Well played, everybody, but congratulations for Team 2. Commiserations if you were rooting for Team 1. But you know what? Annihilation, guys. Go play it. Go forth and play your large team games on Annihilation. It will make for a more interesting game as far as I'm concerned. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. There's always more to come from me in the future. Don't forget, if you feel so inclined, there is the Patreon 40+ casts. If you haven't checked it out already on the site with new content being added all the time. There should be another Patreon cast going up this week. You don't want to miss that. Go check it out. Just $1 a month. And each single subscriber that signs up really does help me out. So please, please, please give it some serious consideration. Thank you once again for checking it out, and I will see you next time. This is Guile, signing out.